Ja, und damit hallo, herzlich willkommen zurück bei The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. Hier steht zwar die 2, aber es ist einfach nur, weil wir so weit gespielt haben und den New Content uns angeguckt haben. Deswegen ist es quasi The Stanley Parable 2. Es wurde hier richtig geil mit Liebe umbenannt. Ich habe auch noch eine weitere Ankündigung für euch. Es wird heute noch ein Stream kommen, und zwar spielen wir heute noch auf YouTube noch God of War Ragnarok. Ja, ich habe es mir heute gekauft, 70 Euro. Lädt aber noch runter, hat über 100 GB, braucht noch 3 Stunden zum Installieren. Ich gucke kurz schnell nach, ihr habt kurz kein Bild. Ja, noch 3 Stunden dauert das noch zum Installieren, aber also ungefähr so kurz vor 22 Uhr. 22 Uhr wird es gestartet, da werden wir natürlich die 1 oder 2 Stunden dran mal sitzen. Und schauen wir mal, wie weit wir kommen. Machen wir weiter. Ich weiß nicht, was wir gestern alles gemacht haben, wenn ich ehrlich bin. Auf jeden Fall gucken wir mal, ob wir noch irgendetwas Interessantes finden bei New Content. Oder muss ich jetzt ernsthaft
This is the story.
Nein, jetzt will ich überspringen. Okay. Wie jetzt?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
So, ich möchte auf jeden Fall was testen. Und zwar, wenn ich den Eimer mitnehme.
The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Ich gehe mal die rechte Tür lang.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
Okay.
No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Haben wir jetzt mit jedem Eimer ein anderes Ending, also ein bisschen anders? Ich sag mir jetzt nicht, das ist alles, das ist nur noch.
Oh, good, Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
What the?
You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
Was passiert, wenn ich da reingehe? Oh, das ist mal geil, Alter, dass sie auch das hier verändert haben. Das ist auch eine neue Art vom New Content.
Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
Haha. Ja, wir kennen noch die tolle Musik.
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue? Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers. Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
Oh nö, wir müssen den Eimer verlieren.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer. I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree? Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
Nö.
Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The broom closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and...
Oh.
Bucket Destroyer, my prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Ich frage mich halt, ob wir den Eimer wirklich da rein hätten werfen können. The end is never the end, the end is never the end. Gestern hatten wir diese Lobby auch etwas ganz anders, sah sehr, sehr anders aus. Alter, diese New Continent. Ich bin mal gespannt, wie viel wir noch haben. Wir haben auch schon viel vom Spiel schon gesehen, ne?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home.
Ja, wir nehmen den Eimer wieder mit, wir gehen wieder rechts.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was.
Ich will den mal testen. Was passiert, wenn wir da geradeaus gehen? Und den zerstören und so, das mache ich später mal.
No, said the bucket. Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go. Good, said the bucket. Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do. Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this.
Ich bin überlegen, da runter zu springen.
He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Okay.
No, stop. Look there on the wall, you see? There's a sign right there. It says, no buckets past this point. Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket?
Also es hat sich alles verändert, weil wir den Eimer haben. Interessant. Das heißt, wir müssen mal alles nochmal neu durchgucken und gucken, was die Veränderungen sind.
This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
Hm.
Now
What?
then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin. Item 1. Is this a bucket? Incorrect. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Aha.
Item 2. Is this a bucket? Correct. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
What the fuck?
Item 3. Is this a bucket? Correct. This is a bucket.
Okay.
Item 4. Is this a bucket? Correct. This is a tractor and not a bucket. To be honest, I just sort of put this one in here as a gimme, but I was starting to get concerned that even this might be too much for you. Thank you for not making me look like an idiot. Okay, next one.
Das ist sehr, sehr cringe hier gerade.
Is this a bucket?
Ja.
Correct. This is a bucket.
What the? Hä?
Item 6. Is this a bucket? Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
Wow. Geht das jetzt unendlich weiter?
Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere. Yes. Thank you. There's nothing here. Of course it isn't a bucket. We both know full well that nothing isn't a bucket. Wait, when I say nothing isn't a bucket, that makes it sound like I'm saying everything is a bucket, which of course is not true. Unless, is that what you think? Answer me straight, Stanley. Are you trying to tell me that you believe everything is a bucket?
Ja, ja. Etwas
You know
mal triggern.
I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket?
Ja.
Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship
Nein,
apart.
nein, nein, nein,
I
nein.
can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely.
Nein.
Okay, here we go.
Drecksack.
What happened? Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And
Yep.
we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person. All right, here we go.
Auf jeden Fall werden wir noch testen, was passiert, wenn wir den Eimer zerstören. Das werden wir aber erst später testen. Ich werde jetzt noch einmal in dieser Plattform reisen. Ich werde einmal diese Treppe runter im Büro runtergehen. Und ja, das mit diesem Aufzug nochmal triggern im Büroschiff. Also wir werden auf jeden Fall ein bisschen mehr machen müssen. Bezüglich, ja, wenn durch den Eimer verändert ja sich ja vieles.
his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone. Not with
So, wir laufen mal kurz mit dem Eimer rum.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
So. Bisschen creepy gerade hier. Oh mein Gott. Thank you, good luck. Was?
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy? It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh, no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the
Ja, jetzt mit den Eimer ist so interessant, weil immer mehr sich Sachen geändert haben durch diesen Eimer. Sehr interessant. Ich hätte nicht gedacht, dass sie so viel reingebracht haben.
Okay, I've got coming to a staircase. Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Wollen wir mal den unteren Weg nehmen? Hier rein.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished.
Okay, das hatten wir schon. Da hat es nichts geändert, sonst hätte er den Eimer angesprochen. Also das können wir gerne überspringen, das hatten wir schon. Mit den Eimer ist halt, ich denke mal, am Büro wird sich das auch nicht mehr gerne mit diesen Fahrstuhl hoch und runter fahren. Ich würde das gerne nochmal, trotzdem gerne mal testen. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. The good old bucket. Just Stanley and the bucket. Off on another thrilling adventure together.
So.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Ist der jetzt wieder dieses creepige? Wait. Das war aber vorher nicht an dieser Wand, ne? A large room, lots of boxes, stairs. Something to do with stairs. Somewhere both red and blue. Nearby a fireplace. A private but smelling place for an important person. Something to do with stairs. Irgendwas mit den Treppen. Er ist irgendwas mit den Treppen. Gut zu wissen.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Ah!
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley? What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
Ah, da haben wir den nächsten. Übrigens, das hier ist alles blind. Gut, außer den der vorigen Konto, da habe ich ein bisschen was gewusst. Das ist sehr ganz wenig, aber der Rest ist komplett blind. So, das alles, was in dem Konto drin ist, ist für mich auch blind.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Okay, meine Frage ist jetzt auch, an die Stelle da unten, wo man ja mit Stanley stirbt, ob da auch was eingebaut ist. Ich glaube, das testet sich sogar als erstes, wenn wir ja schon runterfahren. Da müssen wir nicht das ewige Hoch- und Runterfahren machen. Das ist so interessant. Ich werde den Part übrigens noch 40 Minuten heute strecken. Das heißt, also wir werden die so lang machen. Ich möchte nämlich noch eine 6. Folge gerne noch machen. Auf jeden Fall,
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
ja, auf jeden Fall, ihr wisst, was ich meine. Das wird sehr,
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death. The door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
ja, also das würde ich gerne mal ausprobieren hier. So und runter. Aber es ist interessant. Der Eimer verändert die kompletten Sachen mit den Endings. Und wir müssen noch diese beiden Figuren finden. Das heißt also, eine 6. Folge, also ein 6. Stream von diesem Spiel, ist noch drin. Ich hätte echt nicht so viel New Content erwartet. Aber gut, es muss sich auch lohnen, das Spiel nochmal rauszubringen. Wie? Kein Sprecher?
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be. To be sure, it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket, but what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere. Farewell, Stanley.
Tschüss.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end, as it was crushed violently to death. It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold.
Der Eimer heißt Sie willkommen zur großen Ausstellung. Sie stehen am Abgrund des Wissens. Ähnlich wie ein Eimer ist auch der menschliche Verstand oft leer. Eine höhlenartige Leere. Aber durch die Absorption des Aufstellungsdrucks vor ihnen wird der Geist voll bereichert und fundiert. Die Kenntnisse über den Eimer und seine Geschichte sind das einzig wahre Wissen, das wir wirklich haben. Werden Sie das, was Sie hier lernen, mit in die Welt hinausnehmen? Werden Sie aufgeschlossen akzeptieren, was an den Informationen in dieser Aufstellung herausfordernd sein mag? Werden Sie das Leben von sich selbst und Ihrem Liebsten als Folge dieser Ausstellung verändern? Oder werden Sie die Augen verschließen und weiterleben wie bisher in Unwissenheit und Dunkelheit? Alter, wie viel Liebe und Detail eingebaut wurden. Das nur mit einem Eimer. Das müsst ihr euch mal vorstellen.
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a
Oh, es hat
bucket
sich
like
alles hier
this and
geändert.
to claim it for his own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
Ich habe mich gerade leicht von der Musik erschrocken.
No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket. But there is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong. Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision.
Also ich muss wirklich sagen, dieser neue Content überrascht mich schon etwas. Aufheben.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility?
Okay, ich dachte, das wäre was anderes. Ja. Zwei Dinge will ich noch machen heute. Und dann würde ich sagen, war es das auch wieder. Ich will mir wenigstens noch für eine Folge noch irgendwas aufheben. Und ja, es ist sehr, sehr interessant, dass es den
Even
Eimer...
now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting or a photo? He could no longer recall. Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley just smiled. Anywhere they went together would be perfectly fine with him. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and this was not the correct way to the meeting room. But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
Okay.
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift. Good,
Said the bucket.
now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley
Okay.
did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
So.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Now pick up the phone,
said the bucket.
Pick up the phone, and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
Was passiert, wenn ich den Hörer abstecke?
Whoa, hold on. Why did you unplug the phone? Were you trying to resist the bucket's orders? Stanley, I was joking. Obviously, the bucket isn't talking to you and telling you to do things. Buckets can't talk. It was a joke.
Don't you get the joke? It's funny, Stanley. A talking bucket.
Can't you see? Oh, goodness. I must have really bungled up the delivery if you actually took me seriously. Where did I mess up the joke? Should I have paused for longer or spoken quicker? Comedic timing is so difficult. I wish I were better at it. But there isn't exactly an instructional video on comedy that one can watch to fully... Oh, wait, yes, there is. It's sitting right here. Let's take a look.
What is comedic timing? What is
Was
comedic
ist denn jetzt kaputt?
timing? How does it work? How long should it last? How can it be used to effectively silence your political enemies? And more importantly, can it be taught in its entirety within 90 seconds? Thankfully, the answer to all of these questions is yes. Let's dive deeper. If you've ever told a joke or made someone laugh, in all likelihood, you did it while standing 50 to 80 centimeters from them in a room of no more than 76 degrees Fahrenheit, with one of your arms raised straight upward at a 15-degree angle from your body. These are the optimal conditions for good comedic timing. To begin the joke, start by stating and spelling your name. Next, provide a brief synopsis of the joke, including the specific times at which the recipient of the joke will laugh, and then spell out your name a second time. With these steps complete, it's time to begin the humor. Speak the entire joke in no more than 18 seconds and no less than 13 and a half, pausing only for bathroom breaks when necessary. When the joke has concluded, it is customary to inform your listener that the joke is over by declaring in your loudest possible voice, "I'm Dunny with the funny." Let's practice screaming, "I'm Dunny with the funny" now.
Okay. Erwartet ihr jetzt ernsthaft, dass ich das sage, oder geht's noch weiter?
Good. This saying is a perfect example of expectations management, which is the cornerstone of good comedy. Finally, it's time to hand out surveys. Collecting hard data from your audience on how rapt they were throughout the joke is the only way to grow or learn as a comedian. An effective survey should be no less than 10 pages long and should include the same question reprinted several times, just to ensure the survey taker is actually paying attention and not simply filling in answers at random. And that's all there is. With these strategies at your disposal, you'll have audiences doubled over in laughter and even tripled over in laughter in no time at all. Just remember to let them stop laughing at some point, you gut-busting little scamp. After all, we're each of us needed on the front lines of the war to fight the 12-legged invader who threaten our very existence, and to very likely die in a hailstorm of bullets and mandibles. All of us must be prepared to give our lives to this noble cause, just as our children must do after us, and their children after them. Godspeed, and may Earth reign supreme.
Sehr, sehr
Hey,
cringe.
goodness, this video is a little outdated, isn't it? Well, no matter. I think the fundamentals of proper comedic timing are still as relevant today as they were back then. So with that in mind, I believe the only way forward is for us to return to the two doors and walk through all of this again, so I can try telling my story with more appropriate comedic delivery. Come along, let's head back.
Ah ja. Probieren wir es mal.
I can feel it. This time, I'm really going to nail the delivery. You'll be in stitches. A talking bucket, you'll say? How ridiculous. How absurd. What a hilarious concept. The king of comedy. That's what you'll call me. Thank goodness we had the instructional video.
Alles Skywalker.
Who knows where we'd be right now.
Also das mit den Eimer hier verändert sehr viel an dem Spiel hier, muss ich sagen.
The bucket spoke to Stanley. The bucket spoke. The bucket spoke. Oh, I'll figure it out on the fly. No need to overthink things.
Also dieser Eimer geht manchmal nicht auf den Sack, ey, wenn er hier so diese Geräusche macht. Ich würde sagen, nach dem Ende machen wir auch erstmal hier Schluss. Wie gesagt, ich wollte ja noch für einen weiteren Stream noch was aufheben. Ja.
Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left. No. You were supposed to go through the door on the right, leading back to the phone. Did you not even look at the instructional video? I think this is all covered very clearly. There's no way I can make the comedic timing work now. It's done. The joke is completely done and over. It's all your fault, Stanley. I'm going to be ridiculed in the community of other joke writers. I'm going to be shamed at every one of our meetings from now on. All because you couldn't watch a simple video and take a hint. Are you proud of yourself for bringing me down, Stanley? Are you proud? Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left.
Okay. Sollte die rechte Tür nehmen, das wusste ich gar nicht.
What? We're back at the phone already? No. What's going on? There was supposed to be several rooms leading up to this. There was supposed to be a build-up to this point. A dramatic display of remarkable comedic wit, which culminates in this scene
Telefon ist
with
mal
the
ausgesteckt,
phone.
okay.
Interessant,
wir haben irgendwas hier noch mehr getriggert.
Well, not the way it was meant to. And it's all my fault. I must have forgotten that the phone room comes immediately after the 2 doors room. What an egregious mistake. I've made a fool of myself. I don't deserve the title of King of Comedy. I'm nothing. I'm not even the lowliest joke-telling whelp. I think I need to go back and read that instructional video again. Yes, surely that will help me improve my...
Stanley, you love the bucket so much it's like you...
Oh, wir haben das zweite Ending gefunden.
Pale in comparison. Yes. Well, let me try that again, Stanley. I heard that you are pale with shame over how unabashedly in love with a bucket you are. No? Still not? Is it the delivery? Pale with shame. Pale with shame? Pale...
Es ist wie damals das eine Mal, wo er sich nicht mehr bewegt hat, wo wir das Spiel zerstört haben. Nee, weil Colin hat sich dann mit Samira getroffen. Wie gesagt, wir haben nicht weiter mehr. Wir können aber gleich zusammen spielen, wenn du willst. Bis God of War Ragnarok runtergeladen ist. Das dauert noch 2 Stunden max oder so. Ja, ich würde sagen, das war's dann auch heute schon wieder von Stanley. Ist heute sehr kurz, aber ich möchte mir gerne noch für den 6. Part noch viel was aufheben. Ich bin gespannt, wie es weitergeht, wie viel noch geändert wurde. Ich bin sehr, sehr überrascht. Ich sage euch ganz ehrlich, ich habe einfach nur geraten, dass da was verändert ist mit den Eimern, wenn man den in der Hand hat. Moment.
Good morning. Thank you for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation. We are confirming your shipment of 1,327 cardboard boxes to your place of work. Can you verify that this is correct?
Yes. Hello?
Understood. Your order will be canceled immediately. Thank you again for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation.
What the? Auf jeden Fall, mit dem Eimer gibt's noch mehr Geheimnisse, wie zu lüften haben. Das wird aber erst morgen der Fall sein. Ich kann euch eine ungefähre Uhrzeit nennen. Moment. Ja, hier steht immer noch 3 Stunden. Wir haben jetzt 19 Uhr irgendwas. 20, 21. Ja, wenn das mit den 3 Stunden bleibt, dann rechnet damit. Entweder 23 Uhr wahrscheinlich erst mit God of War Ragnarok oder erst morgen. Und da ist es ein bisschen zu spät, 23 Uhr. Ich denke mal, leider erst morgen wird es den Stream dafür geben, weil die Installation viel zu lange dauert hat. Ich hätte mir dann doch das andere jetzt runterladen müssen. Ich habe nämlich 2 Spiele davon runtergeladen. Ein anderes God of War noch. Ja, auf jeden Fall für Stanley Parable gibt es dann morgen auf jeden Fall. Ja. Und auch schon die ersten Eindrücke der WM, also das Spiel zwischen Katar und Ecuador, wird es auf jeden Fall morgen geben. Und für die Leute, die es noch nicht gesehen haben, die New Content ist übrigens hier auch schon verschwunden. Das ist ja die Raumnummer 416. Also da kommen wir nicht mehr rein. Es gibt übrigens keine Spielstände, es ist nur diese eine Spielstand. Das heißt also, wenn ihr die New Content Türchen und alles andere vorher schon gemacht habt, ihr werdet nicht mehr von Anfang an spielen können. Ja, auf jeden Fall, das war's dann für heute und wir sind dann beim nächsten Mal. Vielleicht vielleicht später noch bei God of War Ragnarok. Auf jeden Fall, haut rein. Euer Gamer. Ciao.